Hello there and welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa and I am the owner of Lollipop Box Club. I'm doing a different kind of midweek video today. I tend to keep all the creative and the house kind of things for the week, and the weekend are my trip and Disney vlogs. But today I have a special treat. We are going to be discussing Disney Trip Itineraries. We're doing Disney planning. It's so much fun. I'm having a week of planning here on the Lollipop Box Club channel and also in the blog, and we have a private chat group as well, which I will link up below. It's all about planning this week. Lots and lots of different types of planning, and it only seems right, as we are a Disney family, that we should include a little bit of Disney planning as well. Now, before I talk about this, I want to talk about the reason I'm doing this video today, and that is because I am collaborating with the very lovely Damian and India. I will leave their links below. They are the cutest couple. They are a Disney couple, and that's how I found their YouTube channel. They have loads and loads of Disney vlogs and Disney related type of vlogs, so please head over to their channel. They are the sweetest couple. They're getting married next year, and the thing I really like about watching their Disney vlogs, they are so real. They are just a normal couple, which I love. Nothing fake, just really sweet and fun to watch. They're entertaining, but there's information, so if you love Disney vlogs and videos too, please head on over to their channel, leave a message, tell them that you've come from me, and I know you will love them too. There's nothing to dislike about this couple. They are so sweet, so I hope you enjoy their videos too. And today, right now, they also have their version of this video up, so you can go and see how they plan their Disney videos too, because it's always interesting seeing how other people do it. What suits one person doesn't necessarily suit another, and sometimes picking up tips and tricks from all over the place, you could find your perfect way to plan a trip. So I hope you enjoy their video too. Now today we are going to be discussing, or I'm going to be showing you how we plan our Disney itineraries in this family. It's not something I've ever discussed before on this channel. I've spoken before about how I plan trips, how I organize the planning, and lots of other various things leading up to the trip, but I've never actually shown how I physically plan our itinerary. So that's what we're talking about today. Now, like I said, I am the owner of Lollipop Box Club. It's a subscription box club, and it's all about making life a little bit sweeter. For me, it's being well organized, planning, it's being creative, just making fun things out of nothing, upcycling, it's about thrifting, it's about Disney trips, it's about baking. I just love all these things, and to me, they make my life so much better. So my company, my Lollipop Box Club, is all about passing that on to you. So if you haven't subscribed to me already, there's a little button down below for you to click, for you to subscribe, and there's a bell button as well, so you would get notifications when I upload. Like I said, during the week it's all about the planning. It's about I love scrapbooking and documenting our Disney trips, so I use lots of different ways how I keep our family stories and display our photos at home. So if you like that kind of thing as well as the Disney trips, please do subscribe. That would make me very happy. Thank you. Now, this is what we're here for, Disney trip planning. So that's what I'm about to discuss. Now, my ways have actually changed over the years. We took our first proper Disney trip in 2007. That's when we got married. Before that, I had been to Disneyland Paris and also California. I had been to Florida before, but to the coast, and we'd just been to what was Downtown Disney and SeaWorld. So in 2007, I classed that as our, first proper trip. Now, I always put together a trip planner. I've done a video on these before. I do all my planning in one big A5 book. They are amazing. Everything goes in here, so everything is always kept in the one place. The video, I will link up that below so you can see. That goes with financial planning, all the information that you need whilst you're out there, zip codes, any banking information, credit card information, meals, ADRs, fast passes, itinerary, places we want to eat, everything goes in here. Shopping lists, you name it, it's all in the one place. It's the perfect way to plan as far as I'm concerned. But the itinerary planning has changed. Like I said, I used to plan the itinerary in here. I still start off the itinerary planning in here. For me, itinerary planning starts very early on. It starts off with lists. It starts off where we want to eat, fast passes that we want to get and that we do then eventually go on to get, the ADRs, the advanced dining reservations, other places we want to eat, where we want to shop, basically everything that we want to do on our trip. And obviously it's not just Disney. Orlando's huge, Florida's huge, there's so many other things to do. It could be you want to add in a beach day. Could be you want to go over to NASA. It could be you want to go to Gatorland. There's so many other things to do. Obviously there's Universal as well. Could be a water park. Everything that we would like to do as a family gets written down. That then helps me go on to create our perfect itinerary. So the lists are really important first. Make sure you've got everything written down what you would like to do. My next tip, I have always subscribed to touringplans.com. I will leave their link below as well. It's $10.95 for the whole year, and for me it's worth every cent. This place has really come on over the years as well. I've used it since our very first trip. It's amazing. You can go and you can type in days like for the next year or days previously, and it will give you all the information on that particular day that you need. It will give you hours of the park. It will tell you if there's a special event going on. It will tell you what time the fireworks are, what time the shows are, if there's early morning magic, you name it, it's on there. And it will also give you the history. If you're looking back at a date from previously, it will give you the history of how busy the park was. It will also tell you what they estimated it to be and what it actually was. It's always done from 1 to 10, 10 being absolute maximum, 1 being a lovely quiet day. And you can then also check for the time ahead. So for example, we're planning a Disney trip next year, and I've already started looking at from the first week of September how busy it's going to be, and I love that. Obviously it's an estimate, but it's a really well researched estimate. It's based on previous history, and it's really good. The other thing I like about touring plans, you can also put in where you want to go, on what date, what rides you would like to do, and it will actually give you a little plan, your own personalized itinerary for the day. So that's also good. It now has Universal. It also has Disneyland, which is amazing. You can pay for small add-ons. So for example, you can pay an extra $4.95 and you can add on Disneyland in Anaheim, California for the next year. The other thing I really like, if you get the app, you can actually look at live waiting times whilst you're in the park. Now I know Disney does this and you can look at the times, but this one, this Touring Plans app, you've actually got people. So for example, you could be in the queue yourself. It could be showing half an hour and actually you've got in 5 minutes. It's all happened to us before, or even the other way around, which is not so fun when you're waiting in a 10-minute queue, which turns out to be a 45-minute queue. You've got people that are live in the park at that time, and they will say, for example, I've just queued 10 minutes, and you can then go off to that ride and you can see that actually it's quieter or busier than being shown. So it's a really handy app. Now I use this to plan my trips. I will have a look at the days that we are going. This is from our trip last year, so I will use this as my example. But you can have a look at the dates, and for example you can type in actually, I will give you a good example. I've just had a look for the 1st of September, I think it was, next year. It comes up straight away, not only really busy, but that it's Labor Day. I hadn't even given that a thought. So all the holidays are in, which knows, you know then, if you don't have to go to a park, avoid it. It's going to be really busy. You'll have all the locals there as well. So I like it for that reason as well. There is also another planning website which is called the Dibb.co.uk. I will link that up below. It is a really good place for research, a really good place for information, and a really good place for asking questions as well. They do give you a very kind of similar kind of thing for trip planning, but it gives you a little guide and it will tell you the most recommended days, the days to avoid, the parks, but obviously it's not as in such great detail as the 1 to 10 scores, which I really like, but I do also look at the Dibb as well. Now, the other thing to consider when doing your itinerary planning, if you are staying on site, you will get extra magic hours. These are hours like an hour before and after the park is closed, and it is available each day. There will be an extra magic hour for you if you are staying on site, so that can be a really good time to go to a park. But on the other hand, if you're staying off site, it's a reason to avoid the park. You know, for example, if you get there for opening at 9 o'clock, if it's an extra magic hour, you've already got loads of people when you arrive. So I always recommend avoiding those days if you aren't staying on site. Now, the other thing to consider, this has happened to me before, when you are planning and you want to get to the park really early. For example, we love going to Magic Kingdom really early. We love grabbing an early dining reservation. Maybe Crystal Palace is one of our favorites for breakfast. It's so nice. You can get in there from 8 o'clock and the park actually opens at 9, but they let you in early, and it's so lovely walking down Main Street when it's really quiet. We love doing that. But they do have, I think I'm going to say Tuesday and Sunday, but I'm not actually 100% sure. So don't quote me on that. Take a look. Magic Kingdom does open up early twice a week. For extra paying, you can pay extra for these early entries and you go into Fantasyland. So you think you're arriving to a really early and quiet Magic Kingdom, but actually you've got a whole crowd of people. That happened to us last time. So do check that there aren't special events on if you're wanting to get to a park for a particular reason. And again, there are special events running throughout the year, things like Halloween at the moment. The park does close at 7 o'clock certain nights for the Halloween party. So if you've got one day where you can see the fireworks, please check the dates and times and just make sure, for example, that your only time to see the fireworks, you don't go on a day when it's closing early for Halloween, because you will miss them. And that did happen to my sister as well once. So you've got to do your research. It's really important. Another little tip for itinerary planning, try and avoid the discount stores like the premium outlets and also the malls themselves at weekends. They do get really busy, and the premium outlets don't actually have such great offers at the weekend. If you can try and go to them in the week, it will be quieter and you will get better offers. So that's always worth remembering. And water parks are the same. They too tend to get busier at the weekends with the locals and the annual pass holders using them. The other thing to consider when you are planning a trip are the late nights and early mornings. Be careful that they don't clash. If you're planning, for example, you've got extra magic hours and you want to stay until 1 o'clock in the morning, yes, it does open that late or early, don't then plan your early morning dining breakfast reservation for an 8 o'clock start the next day. That will be a really hard going morning getting up. So be careful when you are planning to make sure that the late nights don't go on to early mornings. You need to get a rest in your trip as well. Now, something I've picked up, this was a tip from my friend Debbie. See what I mean about getting tips from all over the place? Debbie likes to put her plans, her day, into 3 sections. And we started this last year for the first time and it works really well. So for example, you have something planned for the morning, could be a park. You then have downtime for that middle section, maybe pool time, wandering around the shops, could be an afternoon nap. Enjoy one of the Disney resorts, and then you go back out in the evening and carry on with your evening entertainment. Could be a park, Could be something like fireworks, out for dinner. Again, you can shop in the evening, but you split your day up into 3 and try and get that rest time in the middle. It makes a huge difference. Now, do bear in mind that when you're in Florida, certain times of the year you do get the rain in the afternoon, so do consider that. We had a lot of our downtime planned in July to be around the pool. We hardly got in any pool time. We were there for 2.5 weeks, actually nearly 3 weeks in the end, and we had so much rain. So do keep that in mind if you want some pool time and that kind of thing. Sometimes you need to think about that maybe mornings or later in the evenings, because like us, we missed out on most of our pool time because they will close all the pools if there's any thunder and lightning in a 10-mile radius. So I'm now going to show you how I start with my trip planning. I go onto Google and I search for the map. Sorry, not the map. I search for the calendar for the month that we are traveling. So this, for example, was July 2018. I printed this off in A3 size. That's purely because we plan as a family and it's so much easier when I've got the board up. Plus, I like to hang this in my studio and I get to see it all the time. I even leave it up when we haven't got anything new on the itinerary. It's just lovely to look at. So I start off with this. I print up a few because they continuously change. Your plans will continuously change right up until the last minute when you're still switching meal plans, when you're still switching fast passes. Do be aware that your plans will change. So I start off with this and then we just get a rough idea of what we want to do and I start penciling things in. I try and keep to that 3-stage day. And then we start to put in our plans depending on how busy the parks are and everything that I've just gone over. Once we get nearer the time and the plans have really started to take shape, at the 180-day mark you can then start booking your dining reservations. That's when trip planning really gets serious. 60 days beforehand, if you're staying on site, you can start booking fast passes, and it's 30 days if you are staying off site. Now, as you'll see, I've got loads of different colours. These are actually all post-its and they come off. I love the different colours. For this particular trip, we had a week on the road first. We did a road trip before, and then I've got my yellow Disney days. The green day was the day that we arrived in Florida. These 2 green days are Universal, and that was the sad home time. But that's our Disney time. Oh, and these 2 were an extra 2 Disney days that we added on. So I've kind of color coordinated it, and they did change over the time. But the great thing is when you change your plans, you can just replace the post-it. So I really like doing it this way. It makes trip planning very, very easy. So I'm going to give you a little close-up so you can see what I did. Ignore the first part because that was when we were road tripping, but then this was our first Disney day here. We went to Disney Springs. It was the World of Disney opened early for some early pass holder shopping. We then had some chill time around the pool. Didn't actually rain that afternoon. And then we went to Hollywood Studios in the evening. I've made a note there that I booked fast passes, and I've also put how busy the park was scheduled to be. It was 7 out of 10. And then if we look underneath, I've actually written the opening times for Magic Kingdom, just in case we changed our mind. Oh, actually that was for, sorry, no, ignore me. That was the day before, just in case we changed our minds when we arrived in Disney. We were driving up from Savannah. I've put the opening times of Magic Kingdom and what time the fireworks. So I do that in pencil sometimes as well. So I've got the information of opening and show times underneath. This one, for example, I've got Epcot. I booked fast passes. We were planning breakfast in France. And then we had an ADR, a dining reservation at Beaches and Cream at $150. We were then due to go back to the resort to relax, and we'd penciled in going to see Yeehaw Bob in the evening, but that never actually happened. Next day, Cracker Barrel for breakfast, then Typhoon Lagoon, which is the water park, and then we had a dining reservation in Ohana at 8:05. The other thing you will see that I do have blank spaces. For example, this one, we've got Magic Kingdom for breakfast. We were planning on having cinnamon rolls over at Gaston's, and we had fast passes booked, and then we were relaxing the rest of the day. I still, however, keep them into 3 sections. And you will see there are various gaps everywhere, and I find this really important. Do not want a fully booked out itinerary. You need lots of space for maneuvering and for switching around. There will be times when maybe the weather isn't great. There will be times, for example, we love Everest in the Dark at Animal Kingdom. It's one of our favourite rides, and we've got a fast pass, and the ride was down. It literally went down just as we got there. The park was only open for another couple of more hours, and it never went up while we were there. But we really wanted to do it, and because of the empty spaces, we were able to go back or even switch things around a little bit and go and do it. Sometimes it could be you're not feeling great. We had a couple of evenings where our son wasn't feeling too good, and we were able again to switch our plans and move things around a little bit. So you do need a bit of flexibility. I also like to try and keep a quiet day at the end of the trip, so for if something hasn't been done, if we haven't done everything, seen everything, we can always go back and do something at the end. Could be you've got extra shopping you want to do. You need the empty spaces in your itinerary. It's really important. It might seem odd that we do have things like Cracker Barrel, for example, Cheesecake Factory written into the itinerary. These are restaurants that you can turn up to anytime. We have a list every trip of places like this that we do want to go and eat at, and it has happened before where we've run out of time and we haven't done everything that we've wanted to. So I kind of like to get a feel, a little look of when it would be the perfect time. Cheesecake Factory is at Mall at Millennia, so it's perfect to keep those two together. So things like that. We always like to have a big breakfast out before we go to Typhoon Lagoon. So then when we're at Typhoon Lagoon, we don't need to buy masses of food. We just get snacks and things like that. So work out with your itinerary what goes with what, and also try and squeeze in your favorite meals then. We love to do a late night IHOP. We really enjoy going really late at night. So for us, if we're staying late at Magic Kingdom, for example, we love to go to IHOP afterwards. It's such a fun thing to do. We've done it at like 1 o'clock in the morning before, after Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. It's really, really fun. So I do include those types of meals on the trip plan. So I do think I have covered now and shown you how we plan our perfect itinerary. Like I said, things do change right up until the last minute. That's why these post-its are so good. I will link those up below. I think I've only bought them on Amazon. They're really cheap, but obviously you can buy post-it notes anywhere. But the board, by the way, the plain board, it's just one of those we picked up in the works. I've got A4 size as well. And I also have these clipped on the wall. We have great big prints printed on them, like on our gallery wall going up the stairs. So they're really handy little buys. But this is how we plan our Disney itinerary. I really hope this has helped. I hope you've enjoyed my tips and tricks. I would love to know, how do you plan your trips? Are you a Disney planner? Please leave me a comment below. Tell me how you do yours. Do you have other websites, other apps that you use? I would love to know. Like I said, it's always great picking up tips and tricks from all over the place to help with planning. I would love to know how you do yours. And please don't forget to go and see Damian and India. They have a trip coming up really, really soon. They're leaving literally in a few days, so they will have some new Disney vlogs coming up very soon. I'm plowing my way through our summer trip. We were there in the summer. At the moment, I'm still editing my road trip videos, but I think I'm about 3 away from when the Disney videos start. So I'm really excited to share those. We had an amazing trip and we became DVC members as well. So I've got so much to share with you. So if you are a Disney family, a Disney person, please do leave me a comment and please do subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye!